I told these guys that you're 4 years younger than me. And I stopped coaching 10 years ago. This is what head coaching does to you. He's 35. Yeah. Good evening. Welcome to the Monday night HJCAC coaching show from live from Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Vince Delicio here from the Varsity Sports Show, joined with my broadcast partner for the evening, Roman Martinez. Roman, you had a chance to call a pretty good matchup the other night. It was Salt River Scorpions hosting the Gila River Hawks. How was the game?
Oh, man, a lot of back and forth. Well, to start the game, Gila came out strong. They scored 20 straight points. It was 20-0 at one point until Salt River obviously came back, scored 3 unanswered touchdowns to take the lead and go up 21-20. It kind of slipped out of their hands slightly in the fourth quarter where Gila would go off to end up winning the game. A little bit of a feisty game. Obviously, we know how JUCO football can be at times, but a lot of good talent on display. So,
yeah. It's impressive because a lot of these teams, these guys all know each other. So they're friends off the field, they're rivals off the field, they're rivals on the field, and so you get a lot of that. But overall, this season, it's been a very competitive season, and we are privileged and honored to have been a part of this season in what I feel has been pretty historic because of the fact that this was year number 6. The first 5 years, there were some changes throughout the league, some things with teams, with team sizes. There was a lot more what I felt, and again, this is somebody, helicopter view, 6 years in monitoring and covering this league, more consistency this season with team sizes, the talent across the board, the parity within the league. You had a new head coach within the league that is adjusting but has a strong recruiting background. We're going to get to that as well later. But we are just thrilled to have been a part of it this season. We want to thank the HJCAC. I'm going to thank you guys again at the end of the show. But we also want to talk about tonight's show. And tonight's show, we're featuring brand new head coach Brandon McNutt. Now, he's brand new to the league, but this guy has been coaching in Phoenix for years. He's a career educator with the Phoenix Union High School District. He was at Camelback High School. He spent some time at Carl Hayden. I think even at Maryvale for a time as well. So he is a Phoenix guy through and through. We were actually rivals in high school. We won't talk about that. I never lost, but he's a good guy, and we kind of go back and forth on that rivalry. But this bodes well for recruiting. So you guys that are out there that are high school football players that want to stay in Arizona, that want to stay in Phoenix, your phone's going to be ringing from Coach McNutt or someone on his staff. Be ready. And we're going to be joined by Coach Brandon McNutt right after the break here on the Monday night HJCAC Coaches Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Making connections does not just happen on the field for the Mountain Ridge High School football program. A few of the Mountain Lions have been making an impact on the younger generation in its community by traveling down the street to Copper Creek Elementary School to show them what dedication brings. The football athletes have spent multiple hours reading with the students at Copper Creek. The athletes have also spent some time tutoring them. But when you work hard, you get to play hard. So the role models decided to play some games with the children that are in kindergarten classes. While the Mountain Lions have no mercy on the field, they are happy that they have been able to take part in this experience and give back to their community. They have built a bond among the younger generation that they believe will make a difference in the future. These actions took place because the football program wanted to make a difference in the community and serve as role models for future generations. Oftentimes, many young children look up to athletes because of the hard work, determination, and obstacles they face while on the journey to become an athlete at any level. While the entire football program serves its community in different ways, there were 3 athletes individually recognized in this case. 2 wide receivers, and a defensive back. While the kids have been left with some new friends and memories, Mountain Ridge will now be preparing to face off against Sandra Day O'Connor on Friday for the last game of the regular season. For Varsity Sports, I am Alexandra Medina.
Hello and welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, Coach's Show. I'm Roman Martinez here, accompanied by head coach Brandon McNutt of the Salt River Scorpions from the Hjcac game that we had this past weekend between your Salt River Scorpions and the Gila River Hawks. Coach, obviously a tough result to take on the weekend. Your team was down 20-0. You came back, you scored 3 unanswered touchdowns to take the lead 21-20. Obviously, the game kind of did slip away in that fourth quarter, but obviously good effort. What do you have to say about your team's performance this past weekend?
It's a lot of fight. That's what our kids are about, especially coming from, Phoenix. Our areas, our kids are fighters at the end of the day. My hat's off to Gila and their players as well. I mean, it was a dogfight both ways. What I really enjoyed was just the fact that it went all the way first, second, third, and fourth quarter. I mean, even when the score kind of got out of hand, kids were still fighting, trying to put up points.
Yeah, and that's incredibly important. Obviously, this wasn't the only close result you guys have had all season long. I've had the privilege of calling that game on Saturday and kind of being in and out of the Hjcac this entire season. Here I have listed down in my notes. I mean, your first game against Arizona Christian, 21-17, your only 4-point loss. Then Papago Pumas, 27-22, and then your first matchup against Gila was 26-20. So only losing those games, by less than a touchdown, rather, right? So, what can you say about your team's performance, not only this weekend, but on the season as a whole? Obviously, you guys have had some roster depth issues with injuries and whatnot. How difficult has that been? And they've obviously seen it through the entire season.
Doing this so long, and every coach knows that I've been on both sides. So it's crazy how that ball will bounce one way or another, how that works. And it just happened to be this season the ball didn't bounce our way. I mean, you look on both sides. You take the ACU game, we're up. They throw a Hail Mary, get the ball. He drops the ball. Take the last game we just did. The momentum was I think we tipped it twice and had the chance of the pick, and it actually landed in the receiver's hand for the touchdown. And it's all momentum. So it's a growing thing. When you're young, 100% it affects you. But at the end of the day, season to season, I'll be on the other end next year, guaranteed.
Absolutely. And earlier this season, after your game against the Papago Pumas, we had Offensive Player of the Week that week, Marquez Smith, come in, and we talked to him about his experience as a football player, playing for the Scorpions, and I think earlier in the season he was averaging around 100 yards a game, something bonkers that you just simply don't see at the JUCO level all the time. But what's the next step after this? Season has just ended. Recruitment is now open. I know we were talking a little bit off camera about how that process works in December, and then it gets ramped up in January. So for the folks at home who don't know too much about JUCO football, maybe are interested in staying in Arizona, I know you have ties to the Phoenix Union as a teacher and as a coach as well. So what can you say to them?
Well, I don't blame them. The thing has changed. I mean, I'm learning. Before it was pretty simple. It was February, a signing date. Everything was lined up. Now with the NIL deals and all the open, the transfer portals and everything, and then they got rid of, kids can sign whatever. I mean, honestly, we will be doing our recruiting. We're going to be setting the foundation, making sure we get our kids recruited first. So we're going to wait till December so we can get transcripts, make sure that, everything lines up, because grades matter. A lot of kids don't understand that grades do matter. Now, of course, in JUCO, that's one thing that's great is that we are that second chance. So they can come in with, if they didn't make that D1 or that D2 because of their GPA. So we're going to wait till January. We're going to set the foundation in December. We got to clean up some things here and there. And then January we'll be reaching out to players. And then we'll be waiting till that February to see who falls as well. And then we're going to be jumping on those kids as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you talk to, the importance of recruiting within the Phoenix area? Obviously, you have strong ties to the Phoenix area, but how important is it to get Arizona natives to come and play football for the Hjcac?
Well, that's just the parent in me as well. I mean, we can talk. Coaches talked. I'm a JUCO product myself. Like I said, I played at SEC. I played at PC. And a lot of my staff members are JUCO players. So That put that aside, JUCO for me also, even though I was a 3.5 GPA, that adjustment between high school and college. Some people need a couple, in a year or two to grow. So it's affordability and grabbing the kids here so they don't have to go out of state, because once you leave out of state, you got to pay out of state fees.
Right.
Yep. So there's a lot of things that go into it. NAIA, I mean, we all know D1's the only one that gives athletic scholarship. Everybody else is on, education and athletic. So it's about, our cost is $1,200 a semester. Here it's affordable plus smaller class sizes. So we're going to pull and not let our kids go out elsewhere and create debt. We want them to here get a second opportunity to get that full ride to a university.
Absolutely, Coach. And obviously we're going to have your quarterback, Jaden Guthrie, come on after this short interview with you. But can you talk a little bit about his experience? Obviously he's had, up and down season, missing some games, but coming back to play in those last two. It was an incredible fight back, obviously, scoring 3 straight touchdowns to take the lead. I saw a lot of promising moments in that, late second quarter, early third quarter.
Yeah, he's a football player. That's one thing about him. I mean, his story, if you get an opportunity, he went through the whole summer driving kids, doing the JUCO thing, practice, and then he ends up breaking his finger. So we had to go with our backup quarterback, and Jaden never missed a practice, was always helping. I mean, he's that team player. He's that quarterback. He's that QB1. And to come back, no offense, last 2 games, not having those practice times, it wasn't like he was sitting the bench getting reps. He was hurt, so he had to sit back and, twirl the ball around and not get those reps. So what he did the last 2 games was amazing. So we're excited about what we can get him and what we can get him offered once we get his transcripts and everything by December.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hate to see him go in a way, right? Obviously, he is a sophomore. Great leadership, just like you had mentioned, displayed after missing some games that, could have used your guys' help. Obviously, you guys had some really close results here that we had just spoken about. We're going to have him on soon, and we're going to take a quick break here and go to commercial. So stay tuned for the Varsity Sports Show. We're here with the coaches.
Hi, this is Jameer Johnson reporting with the Varsity Sports Show in Arizona State University, broadcasting from Indianapolis, Indiana. Today, we'll be talking about playoff football and the top 3 high school football games going on in Indiana this Friday. Number 4 ranked Warren Central will face off against Perry Meridian as the 2024 IHSSA Indiana High School Athletic Association Football State Tournament presented by the Indianapolis Colts gets started. Warren Central is tied for second with their record with 2 other top-ranked teams who are the Brownsburg Bulldogs and the Westfield Shamrocks with the second best records in Indiana high school football. These 3 teams have a record of 9 wins and 1 loss. Warren Central averages 25.8 points per game and 57.4 tackles. Also, the Perry Meridian Falcons average 184.3 receiving yards and 26.1 points per game. Next, we have the number 2 ranked Brownsburg Bulldogs against the number 10 Ben Davis Giants. This is an elimination game, and the Giants are the defending Indiana High School football state champions. Although Brownsburg is looking to extend their near-perfect season with a 9-1 record, Ben Davis may have the momentum due to this being a Ben Davis home game. Finally, we have the number 1 ranked football team in Indiana, the Lawrence North Wildcats, facing the number 5 Cathedral Fighting Irish. Lawrence North has a perfect 10-0 record and is looking to continue the 10-win streak with the 11-game win streak with this home game versus Cathedral. Lawrence North averages 4 sacks a game and 201.6 passing yards, although Cathedral averages 357.7 total yards per game. This has been Jameer Johnson with the Varsity Sports Show.
Hello and welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, Coach's Show. We are here at the Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. I'm accompanied right now by Jaden Guthrie. Jaden, you're the quarterback for the Salt River Scorpions. Obviously, you've battled some injury this season. You played in the past 2 games. what did you see from this game this past weekend? Obviously, you guys went down 20-0, coming back 21-20, and obviously the game did slip away, but you guys put up a great fight.
I mean, really at the start of the game, offensively, I thought we'd had some things go well. You know, a couple penalties, couple of little mistakes, but I thought our offense was driving, doing well. And then next thing I know, we're down 14-0, and we haven't had the ball at all, it felt like.
Yeah.
And so, I got to the sidelines. We had a little bit of panic set in. We tried to run a double pass, and that didn't go well either. So it's like we're down 20-0, and we barely had the ball. And I think eventually I had a run there, maybe in the second quarter, where going to the sideline and decided, hey, I'm just going to run this dude over. Let's get a spark. We got to score. We got to get something going. So did that, and then right after that, our running back Jalen Grant was able to punch it in. That was the first score we got, and then, after that momentum had changed, I knew we were doing all right. Threw a bomb down the sidelines to Craig Mims, then ended up punching it again. We had to have Tali coming in and punch it in because he was good, man. They got us 4 or 5 straight plays. We were down there in the by the goal line, and ended up Tali came punched in. But, after that, I felt like momentum was on our side, and it's just the way the game is. It's all momentum a lot of the time. So I thought we did a good job fighting. Defense, special teams actually made a good play to, get us back into the game. And, yeah, I mean, it was fun. I had a blast. So
Absolutely. And having had the privilege of calling that game, for those of you at home who did not tune in, I recommend you guys go back to the highlight tape and see this guy absolutely take down a player after there were plenty of interceptions, plenty of turnovers on both sides, but absolutely nailed a guy after a turnover, and it was insane, so definitely interesting to see from your quarterback. That's not something that's entirely common, but maybe in JUCO it is, anything goes. But obviously you had missed some games. We did get to see Nico Alvarez a little bit at quarterback. What's your relationship with him like? Obviously, he had been in for that period of time that you were gone, and it seemed like you guys had a good relationship. He was in at wide receiver at one point.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, I meet the kid in the summer, and it's, he wants to be the starter. I'm like, hey, this is my team. So there's friction there. But then, we got to be around each other, got to know each other a little bit more. And I break my finger on my throwing hand a week before the game. So now my whole thing is, hey, how do I get Nico prepped? How do I get him ready? And I think we got closer, during that time because everybody always wants to point the finger at the quarterback and always want to blame the quarterback. But I know being a quarterback that hey, like sometimes it's a lot harder than people think and they don't give you credit for. So I stuck up for him a lot. And then, this past week we'd had some depth issues at receiver and, I kind of didn't trust some of the guys that we would have had to put in there. And I said, hey, I want Nico in at receiver. I think, there's a couple things he could do that could, still add value. And me and him are cool, though, man. We text all the time. And, I can't wait to see where his career goes from here as well. So
absolutely. And, he's not the only player that you have a good relationship with. Obviously, there are other star players like Jalen Grant at running back. I mean, he had an absolutely monster game, especially in that second quarter. He's a big part of the reason that you guys had the opportunity to come back. And wide receiver Craig Mims, like you had mentioned, catching that deep ball.
That's my boy.
Yeah, catching that deep ball. What's your relationship like with them and, just some of the other guys that make this team go around?
Oh, I mean, Jalen, this is my second year with Jalen. He's crazy. He's a good kid. He means well, but he's crazy. Yep. Craig Mims, is my boy. We called him 2 times. I love him, man. I mean, I wish that kid – if you go watch his highlight tape after this season, I'll send it over to you guys. His highlight tape is insane. This is his first year playing football since high school, and that's been about 3 or 4 years for him. He's going to go somewhere. He's very special. He's a very talented kid. Then we had other guys. We had Angel Figueroa on the defense. I wore number 5. I'm pretty sure he played safety. He was hurt last night, and he was thugging it out for us, which was good. But he shows up every day. I mean, I love that kid. I've second year with him too. He like I said, shows up every day, professional. We have a lot of guys like that though that just showed up and big part of the team. So
yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously, alongside yourself, there is plenty of talent. Craig, I think he's a freshman coming from out of state, which is absolutely nuts.
No, he's from here.
Oh, really? He's from here?
Yeah, he played at Chavez and then at Tolleson.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I saw it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, we kind of wanted to ask you, 2 injuries, one to your finger, and we talked a little bit off camera. You had an injury to your knee, I think. You kind of battled between football and, you had ventured out and gone to play baseball as well. Where did your passion for playing football come from? Is this something that you want to stick with, and what's kind of the end goal with the sport?
Yeah, I've loved football since I was a little kid. You brought up that, I went and played baseball for a little bit originally, because I was a COVID year guy, COVID was all weird, and nobody really wanted to give me an option to play football, and I had an opportunity to play baseball, so I went to play baseball for a little bit. But yeah, when I was playing baseball is when I realized I really miss football. I love the game, and I want to coach. I want to be a football coach. And so I thought the best way to be a football coach is go play, hopefully get to a 4-year. We'll see where things land with that, and go finish out my career at a 4-year and GA and start the coaching process. So.
Absolutely. Plenty of time ahead for you. Just kind of wanted to touch up on your experiences going, out of state. You're originally from here, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that you had gone to Minnesota, California, maybe on and off high school career that kind of not gone necessarily the way that you had intended it for it to go. But how have all those experiences going out of state and now drawing you back to Arizona kind of tied into the player that you are today and the man that you are today?
Player, I was the same player I am right now as I was at 16 years old. There ain't really much different, to be honest with you, but I'm a way different man today. And part of that is, I moved out of my mom's house at 16 years old to go and continue chasing the dream, and then I moved to, Minnesota. Then I come back to here, and, through the trials and tribulations, you learn a lot about yourself as a man, and, I think I'm glad for all the experiences I've had, injuries, moving, all this other stuff, because it really has made me grow up, and it's taught me a lot about myself, and I really wouldn't be here today if I hadn't, gone through those experiences.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's going to wrap up this portion of the interview. But Jaden, thank you so much for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show, Coach's Show. Guys, this is exactly what JUCO football is all about. Thanks to the HJCAC, who gives kids like Jaden an opportunity to display their talent and not only on the field but off the field as well. Great leader. He wasn't necessarily getting the reps a lot of those games while he had that broken finger, but now he's here playing the final 2 games, gave a lot of advice, and was ready when his name is called upon. And best of luck to you for the rest of your college career, and I'm sure everything will turn out. So we'll go to commercial break before we wrap up the show, but thanks for watching the Varsity Sports Show, Coach's Show.
This week's Sunday Night Football matchup between the Detroit Lions and Houston Texans features 2 divisional leaders looking to bolster their already impressive records heading into the back half of the season. The 7-1 Lions come in after holding a very good Packers team to 14 points a week ago. After their lone loss to the Buccaneers back in Week 2, the Lions have rattled off 6 victories in a row to reclaim the lead in the NFC North. Offensive coordinator Ben Johnson has the offense rolling, creating over 32 points per game while having a little fun in the process. Creating plays for his linemen was definitely not on many people's bingo card. On the other side, the 6-3 Texans just came off their worst performance of the season in a gruesome loss to the Jets on Thursday night last week. CJ Stroud and Joe Mixon have looked great to start the season, but key injuries to the receiving core have this offense a little rattled. Leading receiver Nico Collins is questionable to play this week. If he gets the nod before kickoff, look for this to be an exciting offensive game. The winner of this game could likely kickstart the back half of their season for both potential playoff teams. For Varsity Sports, I'm Jace Grinke.
Hello and welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, Coach's Show. I'm Roman Martinez, accompanied by my broadcast colleague Vince D'Alicio. Vince, what a great interview, series of interviews that we had with head coach Brandon McNutt and Jaden Guthrie. Both of these guys, they're really displaying what the HJCAC and JUCO football is all about.
Well, they are, and it's funny because I was sitting a few feet away during both the interviews and really taking it all in, and I am, I've been on board with not only this league, this team, but this coach. I know the fiber of this man and Brandon McNutt, having coached against him, having gone to rival high schools with him. This guy's roots are through and through Arizona. And not only that, he is a Metro Phoenix guy. So they got the right guy for the right job, and it's just a matter of time before this sleeping giant wakes up, and these guys are winning league championships. So it is going to be an interesting offseason for sure. You talked a lot about recruiting and what Coach McNutt and his plan is, but also in the back of his mind, that is now going to the front of his mind, he has a commitment to the players that are graduating, that he has to see them off and see them off properly. And he is already, we were sitting over there talking, working through his mental Rolodex of college contacts at other schools and other states of coaches that he's going to call to push a lot of his guys out and get them off on the right foot and to get their education paid for. And that's the part that excites me the most about all of this. I'm going to put it out there. Anybody, and I said this at the onset of the show, anybody that is interested in playing junior college football and getting mentorship and coaching from a great set of coaches, give the HJCAC a call. You can find them on our social media, on their social media. Google it. If you want to stay in Arizona, even if you're out of state and you're watching this show, come to Arizona. I guarantee you, you are going to get some great coaching from some great people, and also the follow-through and the commitment from them to make sure that when you're ready and you're done, your time is done here, they will get you those opportunities to move forward. Now, a lot of it is obviously on the field, things that you need to do, and in the classroom, but they will do their part and then some, because that's how these guys are. That's my testimonial, having worked with these guys the past 6 years and knowing them for more than 10 years of what you're going to see and what you're going to get. Been a great season, been a great show. We've had great coverage. Roman, I got to tell you, you've done an exceptional job in covering this league and doing your homework. Really proud of the work that you've done in really setting the standard, setting the bar, and excited for what lies ahead. What lies ahead for you now?
Yeah, for me personally, I'm currently a senior at Arizona State University, so just finishing out classes. I'll be graduating in spring of 2025, so that's May, this upcoming May, and yeah, I mean, really just figuring out what the next steps are. I might go home to Los Angeles, but I mean, the desert has been calling my name, so yeah.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. Another great show. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is our final show of the season, but stay tuned because there's a lot of great things coming up. Been working with the league to do some things. We're not going to say now, but be ready, and we'll get some announcements out. Check us out on our social media, on X at Varsity Show or Varsity Sports Show on every other media platform, as well as the HJCAC X account and Instagram, Facebook. You can find them all out there. So thanks again for tuning in. Roman, take us out.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to check in, and yeah, we'll see you next time.